Hey guys, so from today onwards we are going to start the pharmacology. So let's start. Actually, I also haven't touched this topic, so let's learn together. Okay. Introduction. Introduction definition of basic terminology. Pharmacology is the body of knowledge concerned the action of chemicals on biology systems. Medical pharmacology is the area for the use of chemicals in the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of disease, especially in humans. Toxicology is the area of pharmacology concerned with the undesirable effects of chemicals on biologic systems. Nowadays, veterinarian and clinical pharmacology direction are distinguished, and subjects of their discussion are plants, animals, and humans, respectively. So, phyto is for the plants, uh, veterinarian is for the animals, and clinical pharmacology is for the humans. Yeah. So, anomalies of metabolism of the drug that may lead to hypersensitivity. That is, pharmacogenetic is a study of genetic variation that cause difference in drug response among individual or population. Pharmacopoeia, an official publication containing a list of medicinal drugs with their effects and direction for the use, a stock of medicinal drugs. Definition. Okay, so drugs they are the substances that act on living systems at the chemical molecular level and alter their function. Medicine is any drug which has a definite form, dose level, and is therapeutically used for treatment of a disease in living subjects. A drug is designed to produce a, a, a drug is designed to produce a reaction inside the body. Example: cocaine drug designed to create a mental reaction that lead to high for user. A medicine is any substance that is designed to prevent or treat diseases. Most of the medicines are considered controlled substances. Medicine, for example, radiopaque substances are used for diagnostic purposes. Fludeoxyglucose (F18) is a radioactive tracer that acts as a glucose analog and is used for diagnostic purposes in conjunction with position emitting tomography (PET) to localize the tissues with altered glucose metabolism. It does not have therapeutic use. Altered glucose metabolism has implication in malignancies, epilepsy, myocardial ischemia, inflammatory conditions, and Alzheimer's disease. PET scans uses deoxyglucose F18 injected into the patient before the scan to visualize the blood flow and metabolic and biochemical activities in diseased and healthy tissues. FDG, that is a fludeoxyglucose F18, is a glucose analog and tends to accumulate in the tissue with a high glucose demand like tumors and inflammatory cells. For prophylactic uses, vaccines, for example, hepatitis B virus vaccine, the development of vaccines has significantly reduced the risk of liver cancer caused by and for antibiotics, antidepressants, antituberculosis, antifungal drug, etc. The excipients corrective that make up the medication with the basic ingredients should be low toxic and field efficient. Every medication is undergoing strict quality control, especially in developed countries, to ensure protection of public health, protect against treatment failure, and avoid drug resistance. Quality control is important, guys. So, guide for implementation direction on the containers of a registered drug in the state language must indicate international non-proprietary name, IN, composition, brief description of drug, mechanism of action, indications, contraindication, dosage, regimen, uh, regimen, side effects, methods of treatment of intoxication caused by this drug, interaction with other medicines, storage conditions, expiration date, the rule of issue for the pharmacy, and the information about about the manufacturer. The sale of the unregistered and expired drugs is prohibited. Every drug has at least three names: chemical name, generic name, and brand name. Brand name, trade name is the commercial name of for a drug. Commercial name for drug. Normally the property of the drug manufacturer. Brand name is of a drug is a medicine that's discovered, developed, and marketed by a pharmaceutical company. Once a new drug is discovered, the company files for a patent to protect against other companies making copies and selling the drug. The brand name is usually shorter and easier to remember than the generic name. The generic name officially is a legal, non-commercial name for a drug. The generic name, the drug's common scientific name, example, Tylen- Tylenol pain reliever. This is a brand name. Acetaminophen is a generic name. Okay, so generic name have the same active ingredients as the brand name drugs. Generics only become available after the patent expires on a brand name drug. Okay. Patent period may last for up to 20 years on some drugs. Today, about 50% of all prescriptions are filled with generic drugs. Oh, okay. Chemical name is the chemical formula for a drug. It describes the atomic or molecular structure of the drug. Similarity between the brand or generic names. So similarities, it must contain the same active ingredients, same dosage and same dosage form. Differences, they look different. They could have different sizes, shapes, colors or markings. They have different names, different inactive. They may have different inactive ingredients. The generic cost less than the brand name drug. Okay. Why brand name drug costs more than generics? Okay. It takes several years, costly scientific development, and many clinical studies to get a drug approved. These research and development costs, along with marketing costs, account for most of the higher prices we pay for most brand name drugs. In contrast, generic drugs have less such and development costs since the original manufacturer has already done many studies to make sure the drug is safe. Okay. So placebo, an inactive dummy pseudo medication made up to resemble the active investigational formulation as much as possible, but lacking therapeutic effect. Placebos are often used in clinical trials. In these clinical trials, one subset of patients would receive the placebo and one group would receive the experimental drug, but neither group is aware of which treatment they have received. In addition, researchers, doctors in the study would not know which patients have received active or placebo treatments. These studies are called double blind and placebo controlled and are considered the gold standard for experimental drug research. A positive psychological a positive psychologically related to the mental and emotional state of a person. Placebo effect in a patient, even though the pill or treatment is not active. Nocebo effect is the opposite of placebo effect, a negative psychological effect of a treatment with no pharmacologic activity. Orphan drug, orphan. Okay, they don't have parents, I guess. Drugs developed for diseases in which the expected number of patients is small. Some countries bestow certain commercial advantage on companies develop develop drugs for uncommon diseases. Example: psoriasis. Treatment of night paroxysmal hematuria. Givlari. Givlari. Generic name Geosiran is indicated for the treatment of adults with acute hepatic porphyria. Okay. Orphan drugs are for phenylketonuria, cystic fibrosis, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, chronic myelofibrosis. Since 1983, the FDA has approved for marketing more than 300 orphan drugs to treat more than 82 rare diseases. Trikafta, Alexa, Alexa Kaftar, Tixagaftar, Evacaftar, and Evacaftar. Trikafta is a prescription medicine used for the treatment of cystic fibrosis in patients aged 6 years and older who have at least one copy of a F508 del mutation in the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator CFTR gene, or 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 another mutation that is responsive to treatment with Trikafta. The interaction between the drug and the body are currently divided into two classes: pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Pharmacokinetic describes the effects of the body on drug. Oh, example, absorption, excision, etc. Pharmacodynamics denote the action of drug on the body, such as the mechanism of action and therapeutic and toxic effects. The nature of drug. So drugs are chemicals that modify body functions. Drugs in common use include ions, carbohydrates, lipids, or proteins. They vary in size from very small lithium molecular weight 7 to very large proteins. Example, Altiplans TBA, a protein of molecular weight 59.050. However, most drugs have molecular weight between 100 and 1000. Some drugs are found in plants or animals, but many are partially or completely synthetic. The source of medication until the end of 19th century, medicines were natural, organic, and inorganic products. What is the origin of drug? The sources of medications. Nowadays, following sources of medication are distinguished. Plants. Straw, straw, Strophantin K, which is used in the treatment of acute heart failure. Atropine sulfate, which is isolated from the leaves of Atropine belladonna plant. Taxol, preparation derived from the plant red tree, Texas bacata, which is used as a raw material for the anti-blastomic cytostatic drugs such as paclitaxel, doxytaxel. This is an anti-blastomic drug. Plants biomass. Based on proliferation of plant cells in vitro in test tube to make up biomass. Following step is the extraction of biomass to obtain pharmacologically active ingredient bio bioginseng. Gene therapy agents, a new generation of molecular medicine. Recombinant DNA rDNA technology has made the transfer of genes from one organism to another possible. The use of rDNA technology in conjunction with humans and other mammals is referred to as gene therapy. Gene therapy agents with recombinant nucleic acid can affect the genetic ability of human somatic cells, for example, during the replication process. Adenoviruses are a family of DNA viruses that can infect both dividing and non-dividing cells. Example, Lavera adeno-associated virus gene with the gene that is responsible for the synthesis of enzyme lipoproteinase. Animals, organs, and tissues. Heparin is derived from pig's bowel, plasma products, loscoceryl, cerebrolysin, thymogen, folitropin, chorionic gonadotropin. Nowadays, some European countries have the total ban on production of effective medicine from animals' dead bodies because of prion disease. Abnormal protein prion disease is the underlying cause of severe disease. Prion disease is associated with the dementia, coordination problem, plague, and other disturbances in CNS. It is a progressive degenerative disease, ultimately leading to death. Transmissible fetal spongiform encephalopathies are distinguished. Kuru means shake. Disease is common among the people of Papua New Guinea. Is caused by the transmission of mutant prion protein via cannibalism. Cannibalism, fuck. Do you know the meaning of the word cannibalism? Cannibalism means eating the flesh of other people. Okay. It is also known as a laughing sickness. Incubation period lasts from 10 to 50 years. Creutzfeldt Jakob disease, McDonald's. Gersman Trausler Schniegler syndrome. Fatal familiar insomnia. Biotechnology, gene engineering. This method provide the production of human insulin, growth hormone, anti-B virus, anti hepatitis B virus vaccines, erythropoietin, interleukin, and interferons. Monoclonal antibodies, biotherapeutic agents used for many diseases. Example: nivolumab, Opdivo. Researchers can design antibodies that specifically target a certain antigen, s- s- such as one found on cancer cells. They can then make many copies of the antibody in the lab. These are known as monoclonal antibodies or MAbs or MOABs. Monoclonal antibodies are used. They are used to treat many diseases, including some types of cancer. To make a monoclonal antibody, researchers first have to identify the right antigen to attack. Finding the right antigen for cancer cells is not always easy, and so far, MABs have proven to be more useful against some cancers than others. Note: some monoclonal antibodies used to treat cancer are referred to as a targeted therapy because they have a specific target on a cancer cell that they aim to find, attached to an attack. But other monoclonal antibodies act like immunotherapy because they make immune system respond better to allow the body to find and attack cancer cells more effectively. What MABs are made of? Monoclonal antibodies are man-made proteins that act like human antibodies in the immune system. There are four different ways they can be made and are named based on what they are made of. Murin. These are made from mouse proteins and the names of treatment and in OMAB. Chimeric. These proteins are a combination of part of mouse and a part human. The names of the treatment and in Zimab, humanized. These are made from small parts of mouse protein attached to human proteins, and the names of treatment end in Zumab, human. These are fully human proteins, and name of the treatment ends in Umab. Omab, Zimab, Zumab, Omab. Oziz, Oziz, Ozi, Ozizu, Ozizu, Ozizu. O for murin, Z for chimeric, Z for Z, and U for human. Okay. Naked monoclonal antibodies work mainly by attaching to and blocking antigen on cancer cells or other nearby cells that help cancer cells grow or spread. For example, umab means human. Okay. Hers, Herceptin is an antibody against It's HER2 protein. Breast and stomach cancer cells sometimes have large amounts of this protein on their surface. When HER2 is activated, it helps these cells grow. Trans, trans, Trastuzumab binds to this protein and stop them from becoming active. Chemical synthesis. So, more than 90% of drugs are partially or completely synthetic. That's they are, that's they are synthesized non-narcotic and non-narcotic NSAIDs. Radioactive isotopes, iodine 131 is used to diagnose the thyroid gland disease. Minerals, inorganic substances, CaCO3, iodine, NH, and etc. Fungi, source of some antibiotics with beta-lactam rings, penicillin, and cephalosporins. Aminoglycoside and tetracyclines and others. Various ways of taking medication, their positive and negative effects. Routes of drug administration. Drugs are usually administered by one of the following routes of administration: oral, buccal, sublingual, rectal, topical, intravitreal, transdermal, intravenous, intraarterial, intramuscular, intraosseous, subcutaneous, or by inhalation. Fuck. There are many ways through which we can give drugs to patients. So oral, swallowed. The oral route offers maximum convenience, but absorption may be slower and less complete than when parent parental routes are used. The bioavailability of the drug is the fraction or percentage of the administered dose that reaches the system in circulation. After administration, part of the oral dose is lost because of metabolism in the gut, ingestion, and the liver before it enters the sy- systemic circulation. This is the first pass effect. So ingested drugs are subject to first pass effect. Thus bioavailability, the fractional percentage of the administered dose of drug that reaches that reaches the systemic circulation. Bioavailability is defined as the unity or 100% in the case of intravenous administration. Note: first pass metabolism by the intestine or liver limits the efficacy of many drugs. Okay. Hmm. So, of many drugs when taken orally. For example, more than 90% of nitroglycerin is cleared during a single passage through liver, which is primary reason why this agent is administered by the sublingual route when the first passage is avoided. Area under curve AUC is the graphic area under plot of a drug concentration versus time after a single dose or during a single dosing interval. The area under the curve is used to calculate the bioavailability of a drug. The AUC can be derived from either single dose studies or multiple dose measurements. Bioavailability is calculated from the area under curve root divided by the area under curve intravenously. Intravenous. The intravenous route offers instantaneous and complete absorption. Bioavailability is 100%. When the dose is large or administration is too small. One second. One second. Just a second. So intramuscular route of intramuscular ablation from an intramuscular injection site is often faster and more complete, higher bioavailability than with oral administration. Larger volumes, example more than 5 ml into each buttock may be given if the drug is not too irritating. First pass metabolism is avoided, but anticoagulants such as heparin cannot be given by this route because they may cause bleeding, hematomas in the muscle. Okay, so subcutaneous. The subcutaneous route offers slower absorption from the intramuscular route than the intramuscular route. Larger volume bolus doses are less feasible, but heparin does not cause hematomas when administered by this route. First pass metabolism is also avoided. Buccal and sublingual. The sublingual route under the tongue permit direct absorption from the systemic venous circulation, bypassing the first metabolism and hepatic portal circuit. This process may be fast or slow depending on the physical formulation of the product as the sublingual route. Preparations contain proteases, fistal, panzinome, creon, mesem forte should not be chewed as these enzymes are activated in the alveolar which of the oral cavity mucus may be damaged. Rectal suppository. The rectal route offers partial avoidance of the first pass effect because uh, s- suppositories tend to migrate upward in the rectum and part of the administered dose enter the portal circulation. Large amounts of drug with unpleasant tastes are better administered readily than by the buccal or sublingual routes. Rectal administration is often used in patients who are vomiting or if the patient is unconscious. Furthermore, This route is often used in pediatrics. Some drugs irritate the rectal mucosa. Inhalation. In the case of uh, diseases, for example, asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, the inhalation route offers delivery closest to the target tissue. This because of the large and thin alveolar surface area. Apparatus such as albuterol and corticosteroids such as fluticasone. Topical. This route includes application to the skin or to the membrane of the eye, ear, nose, throat, airway, or vagina. Locally. The rate of absorption varies with the area of application and the formulation, but is usually slower than any of the route previously. For example, clotrimazole is applied as a cream directly to the skin in the treatment of dermatophytosis. Care should be taken when using creams in pediatric patients due to high hydrophilicity of the skin. Intravitreal injections. Transdermal. This route involves application to the skin for the systemic effects, usually via transdermal pouch. But the first pass effect is avoided. This route is most often used for the sustained delivery of drugs such as durogesic, fentanyl, narcotic analgesic in onco patients, anti-anginal drug nitroglycerin, the anti-mix scopolamine, and nicotine transdermal patches, which are used to facilitate smoking cessation. Okay, guys. So that was all for today. Hi. Hi, Afrin. Hi, Manu. Hi. How is your day going? How are you? Okay, guys. So, bye, guys. So, tomorrow I'll tell you what we learn. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Bye bye. Thank you for joining the live stream and saying bye. Have a nice day.